Hey garden friends, welcome back to the balcony garden. It's June, the garden is bursting with life, and that means it's time to check in on what we should plant, harvest and watch out for. Plus, I will share a quick review of some herbs to grow in containers, which of them are easy to grow and which are not so easy. Let's get into it. June is all about maintenance and enjoying the fruits and leaves of your spring labor. Here's what you can focus on this month. Water consistently, especially for container plants, early mornings are best. Even here in Germany, where we often have rainy days, things dry out quickly as soon as the sun comes out. If possible, install some automated watering, for example using Olas or upcycled bottles. It can really help reduce your stress and keep your plants hydrated. If you've already had flowers blooming and now they have faded heads, like calendula, pentis or marigolds, be sure to deadhead them. This will encourage more blooms. Pinch and prune tomatoes. It's best to cut off any second-hand shoots. The little side branches that grow between the main stem and the leaf should be remained. But removing the side branch will help the plant focus energy on producing more tomatoes. Try to do it carefully and regularly. You can do it actually every 2 weeks. Basil and mint also benefit from regular pinching to stay bushy and productive. Support your climbing plants like beans, cucumbers or peas early so they can easily reach for the sun. And don't forget to sow more salad greens. If you've already harvested arugula, lettuce, spinach, radishes, carrots or beets, you still have time to plant more. They will grow quickly in the warm weather. A little planting experiment update for radishes. Last year I grew them only in large pots on the balcony floor, but this year I decided to try planting them in hanging pots, and it's definitely working much better. They get plenty of sunlight and don't need to stretch toward it, so they can focus all their energy on growing strong roots. That means bigger radishes and smaller leaves, which is actually perfect for salads. Plus, I'm harvesting enough to enjoy fresh radish salads all summer long. Now, I planted everything outside, what I had previously started indoors after we returned, because many plants, as you know, died. That included more tomatoes, as well as cucumbers, pumpkins, paprika and eggplant. Now they are all continuing to grow outdoors. I really hope they get enough sun, because some of the older tomatoes that survived are already quite big and casting a bit of shade, but I'm hoping the younger ones will still manage to grow well. Now, after a year of trial and errors with balcony herbs, here is my honest review of what I found easy to grow and what, at least for me, definitely wasn't. Let's start with basil. It can be grown from seed, and I've done it. Unfortunately, my first batch died while we were away, but I planted new seeds and it's growing now, just very slowly. Honestly, what worked better for me was buying a ready-to-go basil plant from the supermarket and transplanting it, for example, alongside my tomatoes. Basil loves sun and worms, and the best part is that you can harvest it, freeze it and save it for winter. Thyme, on the other hand, has been tricky. I haven't had much success growing it from seed. It starts out okay, but then either dries out or dies off completely. Even the thyme I've bought from the supermarket doesn't do well unless I water it exactly when needed, despite its reputation for being drought tolerant and perfect for summer dishes. In my experience, it still needs regular attention and consistent watering. Mint wasn't easy for me to grow from seed. The plants we previously bought from the supermarket did much better. They survived well and kept growing even through winter. So for me, that was definitely the better option. I brought the mint indoors during the colder months, but I also read that it's actually frost resistant down to minus 20 degrees, which makes it a very reliable plant. Just keep in mind, mint should always be planted separately because it spreads quickly and can take over everything. The same story goes for Melissa, lemon balm. I did manage to grow it from seed eventually, but it grows very slowly, so if you're planning to start it from seed, you need lots of patience. Chives are supposed to be easy to grow from seed, and in theory they are, but for some reason I didn't have much luck. I have a little bit growing in a small pot, but when I tried planting them together with carrots or other herbs, they just died off. So I'm not sure I did a great job there, to be honest. Parsley and coriander were both quite difficult for me to grow from seed during the winter. I even tried buying supermarket plants and transplanting them, but they didn't survive either. However, once spring arrived, I finally managed to grow both from seed, even indoors. I placed the pots on the first floor where there wasn't much heating and on a sunny windowsill. That spot turned out to be perfect. They got enough light and started growing really well. Outside in spring they also did fine. I planted them both in separate small pots and sometimes together with other herbs. So overall, I'd say parsley and coriander are quite easy to grow in spring, but definitely tricky in winter. Now, dill was an interesting one. It's much easier to grow when it's still cool, either outside in early spring or indoors before it gets too warm. Last year I tried growing it in summer and it just didn't work. Dill prefers cool weather. This year I planted it when it was still a little bit frosty, and it not only survived, it turned into a big healthy plant. I can harvest it regularly now and it keeps producing. Sage is one of my favorites. I love making tea with sage and mint, but unfortunately I couldn't manage to grow sage from seed during the winter. Eventually I found a sage plant at the supermarket, bought it and planted it together with my broccoli, and it grew really well. Later in spring I asked my partner to sow some more sage seeds, and surprisingly all of them sprouted. Now they are growing nicely among other plants in the garden, so I guess spring is definitely a better time for growing sage from seed. As for rosemary, I've had no luck growing it from seed. It always dies at some point, and honestly I'm not convinced it's truly drought tolerant like people say. We also bought a couple of rosemary plants from the supermarket. They are still alive, but I'm not sure they will thrive in the long run. To sum up, easiest herbs to grow, for example from supermarket, mint survived well even though winter, grows better from supermarket plants than seeds. Just keep it in a separate pot as it spreads fast. Basil grows from seed but slowly. Supermarket plants thrive when transplanted and love sun, great to freeze for winter use. Sage didn't grow well from seed in winter, but supermarket plants thrived when planted with broccoli. Easiest from seed in spring are parsley, difficult in winter but easy in spring when placed on a sunny, cooler windowsill or outside. Coriander, same as parsley, easy in spring, especially indoors in cooler spots. Dill grows best in cool weather. Spring sowing worked great and produced a strong plant. Sage, spring sowing, planted in spring, all sprouted and are growing well. Lemon balm, slow growing from seed but eventually successful with patience. Chives, in theory easy from seed but results were mixed, some success in pots, not so much with companion planting. And tricky herbs for me, thyme had to grow from seed, supermarket plants are also delicate and dry out quickly. Rosemary didn't grow from seed, supermarket plants didn't seem drought tolerant and are still uncertain in growth. Now let's talk garden invaders. As I've mentioned many times, pests are impossible to avoid even in a small balcony garden. The goal isn't to eliminate them completely, but to prevent them from eating all your food. For example, I planted a lot of spinach and noticed something strange. One part of the spinach bed was untouched, while the other part was being eaten by pests. The same happened with kale. Some plants are fine, others are full of holes. Then there are the small black bugs that absolutely love all onion and garlic plants. I have no idea what they are, but they are super persistent. That's actually why I planted so much garlic, not expecting a good harvest, but using it as a first line of defense. The idea is that pests will go for the garlic first, leaving other crops alone. It's a sacrifice strategy. We tried washing them off with soap, but it didn't help much, so our next plan is to order ladybugs and see if they can help control the pests naturally. There are also some tiny bugs that attack radishes, but I've learned that planting a few extra sacrifice radishes works well. Let the pests have those and you can harvest the clean ones for yourself. But my biggest challenge right now is white mildew. I think that is what it's called. It looks like a white powder on the leaves and mostly affects the cucumber family like zucchini, cucumbers and peas. So far I haven't found a good solution. From what I've read, this mildew is common in our region, probably because we've had a lot of hot days followed by cold nights, plus wind, which helps it spread. Some sources say you can increase the pH level in the soil with certain white powders like baking soda solutions, but in my case it didn't really help. So if you have any tips or experience dealing with this, please share them in the comments. I'd love to hear what worked for you. Because of this powdery mildew, unfortunately my peas are likely going to die, even though there was still enough time for them to produce some pods. I just couldn't stop this mildew from spreading. Oh, and I forgot to mention one more thing. For example, one thing that has helped somewhat against pests is using neem oil spray. It's great for preventing some of them, especially the small green-brown bugs I mentioned earlier on the radishes. I'm still not sure exactly how it works on all pests, but it's definitely worth trying as part of a natural pest control routine. So June is the time to slow down a little, check in with your plants and simply enjoy the magic of growing things. I am really grateful for the food I have, even though my space is small. For example, I eat salads twice a week and that's enough to skip buying leafy greens from the supermarket. Right now I still buy cucumbers and tomatoes because I don't have them ready yet, but all my green leaves come straight from my garden and that makes me so happy. Whether you have a full garden or just a few balcony pots, you are already a gardener. I hope you enjoy every step of this beautiful process. If this video gave you some ideas, please like it and let me know in the comments what herbs or vegetables you're growing this month. I will see you in July with more seasonal tips. Until then, happy growing!